Editor, take this out.
I'm the editor. Welcome back to the Yellerfab YouTube channel. Today is our 15-year anniversary. We got together 15 years ago when we were in high school.
Been a minute.
So today we wanted to spend our day together, not working on anything and just spending time together. So we decided we're going to film a little video answering some questions for you guys. I asked on my Instagram story and in my broadcast channel on Instagram for you guys to leave questions, so I'm going to go through those now. Well, we're going to start off strong. This one's from Nick DeLise. He asked, is Nick bald? He's always wearing that hat, so it's starting to get suspicious.
No, just really messy hat hair.
Yeah, he doesn't do his hair, so hat covers up. I guess this one's a good one another good one to start with, since we just mentioned our anniversary. From Dr. Chopsticks. It says how you and Nick first met and how the first date went. We were in high school and we were gonna go to the movies, and I don't like the movies and there was no good movies out anyways. So we ended up sitting in his room at his house and watched The Office and played Call of Duty. We both played Call of Duty prior to getting together, and I both watched The Office. So those two things we connected on. So really uneventful, unexciting first date story, but yeah.
And then we met in Spanish class.
Yeah.
Messing with the Spanish teacher. It was fun. I didn't learn a lot of Spanish.
Playing pranks on the Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
A lot.
From Best Ram 50. Were you already into Jeeps, or did Nick start you into Jeeps when you guys started dating? Neither of us were into Jeeps. Both of us grew up riding four-wheelers, so we both had always done some level of off-roading our whole lives. But no, we were not into Jeeps. We bought our first Jeep together when we wanted a side-by-side for Silver Lake, and we realized how expensive they were.
Yeah, I realized real quick, like, we could put together a way nicer Jeep for cheap and get around and it be street legal, and like, I don't know, it was just way cheaper.
Well, and that was back when $500 XJs still existed. So we got our first Jeep was in 2013. It was a 1996 $400 XJ.
The title said 96. I think it was also way older than that. And he also said it ran and it didn't even have a gas tank. So it was kind of a questionable XJ. So,
but it was $400.
But it was cheap, yeah.
And we got it running and we had fun with it.
It was actually a really nice Jeep. Can we talk about that for a second? That was such a nice Jeep, and that was before like I had the ability to do anything constructive. So I was like, yeah, let's make this a pickup truck. Not even thinking that they made, like Cherokee pickup trucks. So I'm like, yeah, oh, no big deal. We'll get this thing running and then we'll just chop it all apart and make it a pickup truck. This will be awesome. Well, like the tech screws and like just aluminum that I like pop riveted together. Well, that like lasted about like 2 weeks. I think we hit one ditch in the backyard with it and it just like exploded the whole Jeep apart. I mean, we did stuff on that Jeep that was so ridiculous. Like, we took the back seat, because it didn't have good front seats. They were broken. So we pulled out these, like, just El Cheapo, like, race seats and put the back seat in the front seat. But, like, on a Cherokee, it's not meant to be anything other than a back seat. So, like, we had to make up, like, a frame. I don't know how any of that worked. I can't believe we drove that for any amount of time.
After we parted that one out, we found a $400 YJ, and that was our first Jeep that we really spent a lot of time learning how to build a Jeep on. It wasn't great either.
No,
but
I bought that one. That one I bought. It was like a tub and a drivetrain, but it was so gone. It was so gone, and like literally found at a junkyard like a frame, did an entire like body off on it. And then the four-cylinder was good. It was the Transit.
We took
the T5 or whatever.
We took the YJ to Silver Lake, and on I think it was our first trip out on the dunes, we grenaded the transmission.
What a nightmare.
The AX5.
Yep.
my Instagram page, my Yeller Life Instagram page. I started that when we had the TJ. So that was what everyone initially knew us for, and we made a lot of friends, and we started really getting involved.
Lee, that was when we met them.
Nope, didn't meet them until I did this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yep.
Oh,
I met them online, but we never wheeled with them.
We never did wheel with them on that Jeep, did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, I'm surprised. A Jeep was around for a long time though.
In the TJ, we went to Jeep Ends. We started going to Jeep events in it. So that was really what the TJ was. The first Jeep that really got us.
That was the Jeep that made me buy a trailer.
That was 2015. So it only took us 2 years to go through 2 other Jeeps before we got the TJ and really started getting into the Jeep community and wheeling and
building stuff. Yeah.
I wish I had more pictures of the 2 earlier Jeeps, but I barely took any. I think I have.
Well, that was before everybody's phone had like a good camera in it.
Well, I still took pictures then, but I didn't have my social media started yet, so I didn't have the incentive to take pictures of everything the whole way through, and I wish I would have, but can't change that now. We do have a ton of pictures of the TJ though.
Yeah.
Kansas Slim said, "Did you guys grow up with Goldies, or is Finn your first?" I grew up with Golden Retrievers. Finn is actually from the same bloodline that my childhood Golden Retriever is from, which is really cool that those breeders were still in business when we adopted Finn. Nick grew up with Weimaraners and German Shorthair Pointer.
Yep.
Right?
Hershey. Good dog.
Yeah, but so he never had a Golden Retriever before, but he knew when we were dating in high school, he knew my childhood Golden Retriever and loved him dearly. So we always knew that Golden Retrievers were the dogs we were going to end up.
It was a no-brainer. They're such good dogs.
Yeah. Any upgrades planned for the JKU? We haven't really done anything to my JKU in the last year because the axles were a huge thing. The year before that, we built my roll cage. So we kind of spent a lot of time building it the last few years. So just this last year, we didn't do anything. We wheeled it only, which was awesome. I mean, that's ultimately why we built it, is to wheel it. So I've loved just being able to have a whole year where we didn't really work on it. And
that was sick.
We got to just really, I forget, 23 trail days. We have so many trail days.
I was gonna say, we have a lot of trail miles.
Pretty good.
Well, we have a lot of road miles even.
Yeah, well, because we camped and we'd have to drive from the campground to the trails, and
it's been pretty good.
We'd go.
There's always a bunch of stuff. I know I'd like to make some better, like actually tied into the cage seat mounts. That's like on the list. I want to make up some dome, like I would like to finish up the cage, like the kind of nicer stuff, like a switch panel maybe, and maybe a spot to mount a radio, some lights.
The radio doesn't work.
I got some plans. I made up some mock-ups the other day for some pretty simple, easy stuff. A big one that I'd like to do is some hard uppers for the half doors, even if they're just kind of easy to break down, so that we can not have to bring the doors, just bring the half doors. Because we did quite a bit of camping where it was raining, and we just kind of dealt with it, and that was pretty rough.
Okay, so I guess the bullet points on that, the things that we would plan on doing on the JKU next, we'll see if they all happen this year. We want to put we have KC Cyclones. I want to put dome lights in. He's building little mounts in my roll cage. So we want to put some dome lights in, and I think we have enough Cyclones that we could do rock lights too if we decide to go that route.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't have a working radio in my Jeep. It would be really nice to get a working radio, but I also don't have speakers because we took the sound bar out. So we have some boat speakers that we want to tie into the roll cage. So a lot of it is just this extra stuff that isn't really crucial to wheeling, so we've kind of put it off. But it'd be really nice to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then lastly, this is a little teaser, but I'm gonna be upgrading my seats. I'm not gonna tell you any more about that. You just have to watch my Instagram and see what comes up with that. But yeah, I'm gonna revamp my interior for sure this year, so stay tuned for that. Somebody asked about the truck project. Do you want to give an update on that, where we're at? Just some info for anyone who hasn't watched our past videos. We bought a donor truck that is rust-free from Arizona so that we can take the drivetrain out of our 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 and put it in this clean donor body. Because unfortunately, the truck we love dearly that takes us everywhere, takes my Jeep everywhere, is totally rusted out.
Yeah, it's getting sad.
Body
I look at it and it's just It's very sad. It's such a good truck. Like, I really truly think the drivetrain would go forever.
We bought it used in 2014 with 118,000 miles
Something
on
like
it,
that,
something
yeah.
like that. And it now has about 260,000 miles on it. It's a 5.9 Cummins with the a G56 6-speed.
Well, I pulled some parts at the junkyard that are the same, like, what would you call it? Like a slate gray. The truck, like the cab is like
Graphite
like
metallic?
a graphite gray,
I don't know.
and I think I can live with that color, mostly because I'm not a huge fan of painting stuff, and like turning the shop into a paint booth is kind of tough. So I think I might keep it that gray color, and I got some fenders and a hood that'll be going on soon. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to order, but it's all like big, and like I don't like spending money.
Because we're cheap. But yeah, we did get color matched fenders and a hood
Yeah,
at the junkyard. So then that would leave us, the only thing we would need to paint on the truck is the bed. But other than that, we really haven't touched that truck build much. We need to get going on that a little more. But I'll insert a little update here so you can see what's going on. Here's the donor truck. As you can see, this fender is not painted. The hood has a bunch of spots here. This fender's not super great, but other than that, the doors, minus a few dings, are in good shape. The bed is a different color, so we will still need to paint that. But the next project, though, is just to swap these fenders and hood out with the ones that we got from the junkyard the other day.
I mean, it's gonna be more when I can justify pulling my truck apart, and I think we still have some wheeling we want to do yet. It's getting close.
That leads to our next question, I guess. When are we wheeling next? I think tentatively the plan, we want to go to Reject Run in January. That's one event we love to go to every year at Rocks and Valleys up here in Michigan. We'll see. Hopefully we're not mid truck build. Hopefully we can get up there, but because that always falls right around our birthdays, so it's kind of our birthday wheeling trip.
I mean, I think at this point we're pretty much going.
Yeah. Next, I have multiple people asking me about Nick's LJ and other projects, or what happened to the TJ with the LS. Okay, first off, we called it the race Jeep. It was somebody who was building an Ultra 4 car. Several years ago we bought this, and we bought it not completed, basically for parts. The goal with that was never to actually build it into a TJ or LJ. The goal was to take what we needed off of it and build a buggy out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a lot of good parts.
So I guess the status of that is it's no longer a full vehicle. We still have the frame to sell. It's really hard to sell things on Marketplace right now. I don't know if any of you are also experiencing this, but it's definitely a buyer's market on Marketplace right now. It is not a seller's market. So a weird custom frame that is stretched to an oddly specific length is not like,
it's a great start.
Not a hit on Marketplace.
Yeah,
and then we also have the full body, which is a stretched tub that fits the frame, and then we have the front fenders, and we have some generate corners with rear fenders on it, the hood and everything. That's all for sale. Haven't been able to sell that either. So if anyone's interested, hit me up. I'll send you some pictures. But as of now, the status of that is we're working on other things, and we have we have the motor over here. We have an LS3. It was such a good purchase. We knew we weren't going to get to building that right away, but it was just one of those purchases we couldn't pass up. This is from John Loves Jeepin'. What is your ultimate, no budget, zero cut corners, unlimited time frame build? And this I love everything that my Jeep is, but I always say the one thing that's the worst thing about having this is that I have a body on it that I care about. I don't want to smash the doors in. I want to be able to still open and close them. So ultimately, my dream wheeling rig is a buggy that I can just go out on the trails and do anything. I don't care if we just have like aluminum body panels on the side. I don't care if I smash it on a rock, drag it on a rock. I can just really try anything that I want to try off-road without the concern of smashing something that I care about.
Yeah, something with stickies.
Stickies, LS for sure.
Some
an Atlas.
Portals would be cool. Yeah, I'd be cool with portals. Rear steer would be cool.
And I feel like for the most part, you and I's dream off-road vehicle is pretty much the same thing, or at least very close. So
I want a 2-door. She wants something that's more
I
like
want
a
to put the dogs
4-door.
in it. We take the
It's
dogs.
so hard. How do you make something long and that can fit dogs?
But we're never gonna wheel it if we can't take the dogs.
Lame.
The difference between what him and I want is pretty minimal.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know,
a foot
10
of
inches.
length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So ultimately, like axle-wise, drivetrain-wise, we're on the same page.
I like the rear where it's got more of a slant. You like it more squared off.
Yeah, well, just so that you can use that backspace for the dogs. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I guess.
But my goal is to wheel out of state a lot more. I want to
Yeah.
travel more. I want to go on
Yeah.
more trips out west. I would love to.
West would be cool
Michigan
then.
is so far from everything, so it's been really hard, but there's no excuse. We want to do cool stuff in our life, so I would love to travel more.
Yeah, we'll get there. We gotta make a camping setup yet.
We have a
We-
long list of things to do. It never ends.
Well-
in fact, we thought we were good with the truck, but now we have to redo the truck. So,
Yeah, so
we're
really-
back. We took a huge step back with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Then we'll probably need a new trailer at some point again. And then I'll break the Jeep, and then I'll have to motor swap it, and so just it seems like things
It
never
snowballs
line
real
up.
quick. Yeah.
Things never line up.
Well, we have a good trailer now. I just
Yeah, we
put that
do.
trailer together a couple of, a year ago.
Yeah.
Got a nice, just shorter deck over, so we don't have to haul our giant gooseneck, which is nice. We're
I
just
just
doing
think-
one Jeep.
There's no excuses. We gotta just
Yeah, I know.
go out,
well,
start going out west.
We'll get there.
occasionally.
As soon
Even
as,
if it's just
soon
one
as the
week
truck's
a
done,
year.
maybe we'll do
Yeah.
we should do Moab or something.
Next question. Where is your dream wheeling destination? I want to go to, I'd love to go to Moab. I want to go to Utah.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
want to go to
Utah.
Sand Hollow
Sand
and
Hollow.
Moab.
I could buy a place at Sand Hollow. We should do that. Should have moved to Sand Hollow.
I'm jealous of
Hey,
everyone
somebody
that
in
lives
Sand Hollow, make me a deal on a house.
I'm jealous of everyone that lives in Hurricane, Utah,
Oh, man,
because
that'd
they're
be cool.
so close to all the good
Oh, that'd
wheeling.
be cool.
What's your favorite thing we've put on a plasma table so far?
Ooh, I've done a lot of cool stuff.
Favorite thing.
Favorite thing?
Favorite thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, look around.
I don't know.
So we just got the plasma table going a month or two ago, and so we made a bunch of people's Christmas
Yeah.
presents, and now
Yeah.
I can actually talk about them because I didn't want to post anyone's Christmas
Yeah.
presents before Christmas, but I'll show on the screen a few things that
It's
we
just cool.
made.
Here's a little collage of some of the signs we made so far, and a lot of them were Christmas presents that we gave away.
I can rapid prototype stuff now. So I got these lights at the junkyard, and I made a mount up for it that was all one piece, and I just kind of bent it and made it work with what I want. And I don't know, this was just something I did one night just because I wanted to do something for myself, and it was just cool. So I don't know, just anything that I've designed a lot of stuff that is kind of nifty. I don't know, nothing in specific though.
Well, the plasma table is just so cool because Nick already does CAD for his day job, so he's already got the skills behind what you need for the plasma table, so he can draw up pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And then I've already been doing digital art on my iPad since 2020, so for 4 years
Yeah.
now I've been drawing things. So all I had to do is figure out how to convert those drawing files into a file for the plasma table. So now anything I draw up too, I can cut on the plasma table. So we both have two different areas of experience that both can make some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, big time.
What Jeep car / workshop stuff do you not agree on? That's a good question. Okay,
I
so
don't know.
well,
Nothing huge.
we already mentioned the 2-door, 4-door.
Yeah, I guess the
buggy
2-door,
thing.
4-door buggy.
Small thing.
Yeah.
I also think that we need to full force focus on plasma table for our business because we have way too many
Yeah.
avenues that we're going down to actually start a successful business.
Yeah.
And I wish we could drop everything and just go full force into plasma table cutting because
Yeah.
I just think there's so much potential for cool things we could do with
My
that.
brain just doesn't function well.
And he wants to
I'm
still take
very,
work everywhere.
very sporadic.
If you could buy any non-Jeep vehicle, what would your dream be?
379 Freightliner. Single cab with camper.
So basically a toter home.
Yep.
Big old toter home. That would be so awesome to have. That,
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Oh, we could like long-term travel anywhere. You wouldn't have to rent any Airbnbs or anything, which is so expensive to do.
That'd be cool. That's pretty impractical.
Yeah, that's...
Could I put wheels on like 80 by 100 shop somehow?
Just wheel your shop everywhere you go. I don't think so.
Or maybe
Not Jeep. My dream vehicles all stem off of a Jeep somehow. Like I want a Grand Wagoneer. That's a Jeep though, so that doesn't count. I mean, I guess the buggy build that we want to do is kind of my dream.
I don't know. I'm not even super sold on the new Dodges, like the new Rams.
No.
I'm not like super thrilled with them.
There's a reason we're putting our old drivetrain into a donor truck.
Nothing wrong with them. They're cool trucks. They're just
$100,000, which who can afford that these days? And also they have so many emissions stuff on them. They just don't last like they used to, and they're way harder to work on.
It's terrible that like my dream for a while, like before I found that donor truck, was to find just like a newer F550 that had a bad motor in it so that I could just swap my drivetrain into that. And it just happened that this came up quicker than one of those. I don't really like cars. Neither of us are really car people. So like I don't really see myself in a car. Nobody makes really I want a small pickup truck. Nobody really makes a small pickup truck anymore.
Well, they do. It's just
actually that would be it right there is what's that not USA available Tacoma, or not Tacoma, you can only buy it in like some foreign lands.
I just don't dream of driving on the road. I dream of off-roading.
Yeah.
So buggy is definitely...
Yeah, we're really tolerant with what we can drive.
We'll drive the
Dude,
worst
our cars
vehicles
are
on the
rough,
road.
Man. We drive some rough stuff.
Every time we get a different vehicle, I think, I don't know if my tolerance for what I'm willing to drive on the road could go any lower, and somehow it does.
Yep, we find a new low.
Our biggest problem with vehicles is we buy cheap things so that we can get to work and back. We end up loving them, and then we never get rid of any vehicles. And we want to all turn them all into a project.
They're all super cool though. Like I drove really. I haven't this year. I have a '87 Comanche, and it's awesome.
We still have it. There's people asking when we're gonna get married, if we want to have kids. Point. Oh, that's not really questions I want to answer on YouTube. Sorry.
We have fur babies currently.
We love our dogs. I guess somebody asked if we have any 2025 travel/wheeling trips planned. No, I'm the world's worst planner. I have nothing planned yet. We will just figure it out as we get into 2025. Maybe. I want to go a lot of places, but I have not taken any steps to plan anything yet. What are your goals for 2025? Well, I think getting the truck drivetrain swap truck builds done is a big goal of ours. Another one, I guess a feasible goal that I would like to set. We'll see where we end up. I want to hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I want to also consistently post weekly for the whole year. I want to go way more into YouTube than we've ever been. It's just, I'm having a great time with it so far. It seems to be going well. Yeah. I really want to push to
There's really been some like super cool people that post comments, and I feel like I've recognized them now. And
yeah, we found like a pretty good community. I already love the community I have created for myself on Instagram. I love being involved in the off-road community on Instagram, but I also feel like we're finding a nice community on YouTube too that I really like.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where we go in the future with that. My mom asked one. She asked, she said, what character trait or personality trait do you love most about each other? Well, I always like to say you're a goofball, of course, but I also like how hardworking you are. Yeah. And creative and hands-on. And you just, it's cool what you come up with.
Yeah, I got some big ideas. Your ambition's pretty cool. You're pretty good about sticking to what you say, like pretty much with all your passions at least. And, like, it's pretty cool seeing you like excel in them, which is like something that most people don't like actually stick around for, which is pretty hard to say. Like, I mean, you started driving this Jeep on tiny little tires and just how it came, and now, like, I mean, the only reason it looks the way, there's literally a drawing Beck made from 17?
Well, I bought the Jeep in 2017. It was probably 2018 I drew it.
That it looks just like the drawing. I mean, it's all been basically driven by what you wanted, and you got what you needed out of it, you know what I mean? And, like, have, like, grown with it, and it's pretty cool to see, like, somebody actually, like, stick to, like, their goal and kind of, you know, not stray away from it to the point where it's, you know, become unfeasible or anything. Or
well, that's one thing I like about my Jeep. I really researched everything and really, like, stuck to the decisions I made. And yeah, it started off as a totally stock Jeep, and then I wheeled it on 35s for a long time, and then I wheeled it on 37s, and I gained more skill behind the wheel as I went, and yeah, obviously outgrew different stages of my Jeep, and that's where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, but like in every aspect, I mean, you've pretty much lived up to exactly what you planned, which is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I've seen that picture a few times where it's like, oh, yeah, this is
my drawing.
This is your Jeep. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess I can put it in here too.
Yeah.
This is the drawing he's talking about. I think I did it on paper prior to this, but in 2020, I drew it on my iPad. It's almost not impressive now because it just looks like my Jeep, but I drew this before my Jeep had any of this stuff on it. So this was all just a vision at this point. So yeah, I guess it kind of does show that I stuck to my goals on this. I ended up with this Jeep.
It's not too far off. The only thing that I did stray from is we didn't do ORIs, which I would love to do in the future still, but at that point, I think we're kind of saving ORIs for the buggy build when that happens.
It's tough because it's such a good Jeep. It does like the kind of wheeling that we do a majority of.
I feel like I don't feel like suspension is my biggest limitation. I feel like having a full body is my biggest limitation, which is why I'm not super gung-ho on now going into ORIs on it, because it still has a full body that I'm trying to not wreck.
Yeah.
That's why I think it might be better for the buggy to have ORIs instead. So I think the moral of this story is we're pretty scattered and all over the place in our builds. We need to rein that in a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. Nothing major planned for the Jeep. The goal is just to keep wheeling a lot and do some interior changes. And hopefully keep the little 3.6 going longer, because I don't want to do an LS swap yet.
Yeah, I don't want to do a swap in it.
No.
It would be really nice to keep that thing alive.
Yeah. So,
there's a bunch of cool stuff planned. We got a bunch of cool stuff kind of in midway working. Hopefully you guys like Dodge pickup truck builds, because that'll be probably a little bit of videos.
At least for a little while, and then it'll probably jump back to Jeeps at some point, or plasma table stuff. And
I got a couple cool little projects here and there that I got to try and squeeze in. Like, I want to build one of those little track sled things. That'll be fun.
Well, yeah. Happy 15th anniversary.
Huzzah. We did it.
Hopefully you're interested in some of the stuff we're doing. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll have weekly videos still. The goal is every Tuesday. So stay tuned for everything we have in store.
Bye.